This week we're going to highlight the potential for some changes in that first USDA Supply Demand report that was released last week. We're also going to take a look at the latest weather trends for that pollinating corn in Brazil. Then we're going to look at planting progress and the short-term weather trends here in the U.S. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. Well, we moved into the latter half of May here, and this market remains extremely volatile. What we're going to start out this week is talking about the change in ending stocks and average farm price of corn from the very first USDA Supply Demand report to the final numbers. Recall that last week was the first 2021-2022 balance sheet for corn. Let's take a look at that. Now there's a graph here that looks at two things. The bars reflect a change in price, the change in price, or the average price received by farmers for corn from that May report to the final number, and the line reflects the change in stocks. What we did was highlight in the yellow here the current crop year, 2020-2021. Look at last May of 2020. The ending stocks projection for this crop year was 3.3 billion bushels, and the average farm price was $3.20. But as we saw a smaller crop than expected crop last fall here in the U.S., we saw tremendous demand from China, and we also saw a weather problem in Brazil. Notice that ending stocks figure fell off sharply, that line. So in May, last week, we've got the ending stocks all the way down to 1,257, an average farm price of $4.35. Now, let's take a look at another example. Highlighted here in the green was the 2008-9 crop year. Notice we started out with a carryout of 763. It rose to 1,673. And notice the average farm price that year started out at 550 and ended up at 406. That was a year we saw much weaker than expected demand. Here's the key message. A lot can change over the next year to year and a half. We strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage this price movement. Let's move on now and focus on that Brazilian corn crop. Let's take a look at where those acres are growing in Brazil. Again, we focus on this, that northern area. Mato Grosso is the #1 producing state, but a lot of that corn is also grown in the south. Let's take a look at the weather now. We're looking at here the last 30 days. Notice in that northern area, much more precip. As you go further south here, it's much drier. Now we're going to move forward here and look at next week, May 22nd through June 1st. We're looking at rainfall over that southern area, that dry southern area. So some of that corn will probably benefit, and that may be impacting the corn market here. Let's look at planting progress here in the U.S. Now we've seen a historically fast planting pace here in the U.S., 80% done. Last year was about 78%, but the 5-year average is only 68%. Looking now at aggregate planting progress for the last several years, you can see here that this year is the fastest pace we've seen in several years. And over the next 2 weeks, from May 16th to Memorial Day weekend, May 30th, on average, about another 19% of the corn crop is planted. So we may be well looking at approximately 90-95% of this corn crop planted by Memorial Day. Of course, that'll be closely contingent on the weather. Let's take a look at the short-term weather trends here in the U.S. We're looking at the next 7 days, quite a bit of rain in that green area here, so there may be some stop-and-go activity here over the next 10 days or so. We're looking at now in the background, between that purple line, those two purple lines is where the heaviest rainfall is forecast short-term. Let's wrap things up now, extending into next week. Again, this is the week prior to Memorial Day. Here we're looking again a dynamic pattern where we're looking at quite a bit of potential for rainfall moving into that weekend. Let's wrap things up briefly looking at the trends in December corn futures. We'll continue to emphasize this as we move forward this spring and summer. We're looking at December 2021 corn futures well over $5 a bushel. Now that's the highest price for mid-May for this time of year in 10 years. You have to go all the way back to 2011. Strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage this price movement. Now if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with our risk management consultants. Be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.